Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. This is Alex Antuna, and today I am jumping in Zbrush. I started this fish a while back, and I just kind of been doing some poly paint, some 3D sculpting on there, adding some details here and there. Looks like kind of getting near the end of the road for the main fish. See what we can do with that mouth. That looks like you can see inside of it. It's probably just a little bit last touch up. Kind of get in here, build that up. So let's go to the bottom. So I hope everybody's doing pretty good out there. I've been on vacation, been working, keeping busy pretty much. So life has been pretty steady going along, and pretty good. Just moving. I've been wanting to do videos, but every time I try to get a chance, me and my wife have started working out again. I kind of fell off a little bit around December. She got me motivated to get back on track, and so we've been working out more. So that's also another part of just lack of energy. You know, when at the end of the day, after you're working, it's just kind of hard to sit down on the computer without trying to catch your breath from working out in the daytime. We work out real early in the mornings, so it's been helping. Trying to get back into that routine. It's been fun. So let's see. Let's flip this back. All right. Paint that inside a little bit better. But yeah, besides, you know, getting back into shape and working out, we've just been keeping busy, trying to keep the garden alive, because where we live in Texas, it's been hitting 105, some places 110. It's just hot. It just stays hot outside. It's hard to keep the garden alive when it's that hot. It's just kind of like, oh man. So just kind of hoping for a rainy day or something. Hopefully something will come around. So, brush, pen, paints. But other than that, just moving forward. Move forward as best you can, you know. Just do what you can. I had to go put an umbrella on some of my cucumbers early in the morning, just to see if that'll save the plant and keep them putting some food out. It tries to grow cucumbers, but it dries up in that 100-degree weather. So it's just, no matter what you do, it's just kind of tricky to get around. I flipped the wrong face. Let's do this again. Let's hide that. Let's flip it. I didn't realize it would do that. Flip individual faces. Okay. So we got our fish. I think the colors are gonna be okay for now. I want a little more darker pockets on them. We can do that. We can give them another little overly paint. Kind of pick a color and just darken it slightly. And let's get the color spray just to kind of drop the intensity. And just kind of vary it up a little bit in certain areas. Yeah. Trying to get back into Zbrush, but it's been so busy. I want to try to do more models. It's just lack of time. Lack of time. I've been kind of taking that vacation time too. Get away from the machine. we're just going to reset. Don't want to go fishing, and it's not fun whenever you're in 100-degree weather, heat. It's just kind of like you either gotta get up really early in the morning and go at those times. It's kind of what inspired this little fish. Lack of getting out there and catching one. I'll make one in Zbrush. So it's kind of add some details here. Make my own unique fish. So the plan is to drop this into Toolbag. Get a look. See what we can do. I need to unwrap the model if I haven't already done that. Go from there. There he goes. Big old fish. Okay, we're gonna call that painted. Alright, so the next part is actually unwrapping, and this is gonna be a high poly fish. Oh, look at that. I actually subdivided somehow in between here to there. So we can fix it, but then again, did I open it with subdivisions? Let's see what it looked like. Yeah, it had subdivisions. That's funny. Somewhere between this point to that point, but it's okay. So if you end up in this situation, let's see how we can fix this. So we got a high poly mesh. It's a high poly fish. We could probably subdivide it. It's okay the way it is. It's okay that it's right there. We are gonna duplicate this fish and get rid of this old one over here. Delete. That's my old model. We'll duplicate this one. So this will be something we're going to retopologize. We're going to turn off everything else though, just so it doesn't project onto that. We just want to project onto the main mesh. So right here we have it's going to be, we'll call this a low or whatever, and then this will be high. This way when we bring it into Toolbag, whether we project this detail onto the fish or we keep this detail, we could keep it and just go this route and let Zbrush do the work. It just depends on what you want to do. So we're going to go this route. We're going to optimize this, give it a UV. So where did it go? See, remesher. We're going to go half, and we're just going to do it this way. So what we want to do is project this high poly, the high poly one, onto the low poly. And so we'll let Zbrush do its little crunching optimization. And so if I solo this, you can start to see the fish. It's right there. I can turn on the wireframe. And if I zoom in, it's overlaying on the high poly, so you'll start to see it clean up. I have it at half. I could just type in an exact amount, but I like to kind of like refine it, project it, refine and project. So this is more of a method that I like to do. So I'll project it onto this high poly. It should. Ooh, we'll see what it has. Yes. I want that. It really doesn't matter because we're going to project it anyway. Again, I'm saying if you want to project the poly paint, you can. It's up to you. I don't need it because I'm going to do it in the other program. It's just going to be a little bit easier because I'm going to try to pull a little more ambient occlusion and stuff like that baked into the model. That way, if I want to use this fish and something else, I guess you got a low poly optimized fish to drop into something else that you can run with. So let's look a little more optimized. Let's see. Let's project it. Let's push always yes. So I don't want to lose this detail on the edge either. I wanted to keep all that detail. Looks like everything's there pretty good. Let's see what it looks like. Not too bad. Let's see the poly count. 12,000. Still kind of high. Let's optimize even more. So this is a little bit, pretty much more optimized. Let's get out of solo, project all. So now you can actually see this is getting pretty low poly now. So how low do we want it to go? I could have kept it at the other one, just one up, because really what I was going to do is just render it inside of the Toolbag, and this extra geometry isn't too bad. I just kind of wanted something a little bit cleaned up, a little optimized. You can still read the features and the details, but I wanted the other details to project down. So if I were to go to that one, that's this, that actually accidentally subdivided right there. But it works. So if I turn this off, you can't tell. You can't even tell where it was. It's just geometry. And so this one is at about 1 million polys almost and a half. 1.4 is there he goes. So that's pretty good. So let's get out of here. Let's turn this off. I'm going to go ahead and unwrap this. So I'm going to save this file as, let's lose anything. Call this fish number 7. And we're going to unwrap it. What I had wanted to do is create kind of an environment real quick around it. We'll just toss something in there and throw some little rocks so we can throw some details on. UV master. And I don't really have anything with poly groups. We can see what it does. Let's just unwrap it and see what it does right here. Most of the time you should work on a clone, but I'm just kind of winging it. So we're going to unflatten this. Yeah, see if we can mask half of it without grabbing the whole thing. So now we got a symmetrical kind of looking thing with the fish. So let's use polygroups. We're going to unwrap it again. Let's flatten it. So you can see that we have a little bit more coverage on the map. Really wouldn't mind doing it even more. Probably break these fins. Let's do this symmetry. Lasso. Let me see if I can grab a good loop. So there, it's a poly group. probably break this up. Just trying to get more real estate on the unwrap. Let's do this again. Unwrap it. See what it looks like. So you can start to see it's starting to use this extra space around here. Oh, wrong button. Oh well. I broke my fish. My fish is broken. Hit the wrong button. It's okay. That's what the undo is for. So let's see. Let's try this. Looking better. And this is just something I just want to get it in Toolbag, and we'll just get something looking decent. So it has UVs, and this will project onto there. High to low, the eyes. Let's just do symmetry, unwrap. Let's flatten it, see what it looks like. That looks nice. Something. All right. These fins, I really don't care what they do, because they are just little details. So let's see if I didn't subdivide that. See what it looks like. I probably should have checked if I had subdivisions, but it's going now. Let's see, flatten. Yeah. Something, right? Okay. So we have some of the mesh. We could always subdivide this when we get back over there too. Hopefully it doesn't show too much of that. Let's see. Because if I get it in its Toolbag, we can always subdivide and it'll clean it up just like that. So it should be fine. Let's start exporting stuff. Rename. Fish low. Fish fins. Okay, and fish high. So 1, 2, 3. So let's export each one of these, or all of them. Doesn't matter, I guess. We could. Let's see. Maybe export visible. Go from there. Quick save. FBX. Go to visible. Set the Toolbag. Let's export this to sculpt. We're gonna save out that so we can bring it to Toolbag and see how it looks. FBX. I could probably do the environment later with the ground and stuff like that. Fish. It's writing data. Okay. The little spin wheel. You know it's crunching down, sending stuff. Sent the fish eyes. Those could have been optimized a lot, but you know, it's the end of the day. Just kind of going at it and just see what happens. Turn everything else off. Let's export the visible, fish low. Okay, so everything's exported. Let's get some Toolbag. Okay, so let's import our files and see if we did everything correct or wrong. We'll find out. There's our fish. There's our fish. Look at that. It's the high poly. Let's go to the low poly. So, all right. The tricky thing is, there's that. Got the eyes on the low. I'm gonna need the fins on the low too. So I'll probably need to break this out. So let's delete that. Let's just export each one as each piece comes in. So export, just select export eyes. Because what I want to do is use the fins and the eyes anyway. They don't really need to be baked. Just this part right here. So we'll export this again. Export fish eye. Yes, replace. It's writing data. I get impatient and start clicking the screen. Okay, subtool exported. Okay, so let's go to this, export the fins. Now it's real quick compared to the other one, so let's go back to Toolbag. Toolbag. Got everything open over here. Close the stuff. Okay, so let's start fresh. Let's re-import. Oh, we also need to export the fish too. Might as well, right? Low, fish low. Now it's loud. So let's click here. Import fish eyes. Import fins. Import fish high. Import fish low. Okay. So we got everything in here. I need to bake the high to the low for the fish. So just dragging each one to the thing, and these can stay. So keep it at that. Let's export this out. Just give a folder called maps. Just name fish body. Since we got body low, we will apply this to the low so we can have, because I always find if you have the wrong name and it's just conflicting names, it'll act weird. From what I've experienced. So I create a new fish body. Alright, so curvature, ambient occlusion. This should give the poly groups, but I don't really think it's just going to be any use to it because it's the body, the fins. You can do a height, cavity. Let's give it everything. Let's throw the kitchen sink at it. So albedo, and we'll give its own gloss in a bit. So let's bake it. Let's bake. Let's see what happens in this bake. Okay. So the original fish, that's something I didn't do. I didn't create the poly group from this. So if I were to go turn this off and turn this on, there's no information for the poly group. So what I need to do is go to Zbrush, go to my fish, turn this off, and so we got this poly paint. We need poly paint, so we need a texture map. So we're going to create it right here, and then we're going to go new from poly paint. So now we have a texture. What I can do is save this texture, and it can do it, or I can export selected and see if it'll tag it along. So let's see if it tags it along. It's loud again. I need to turn that volume down. There you go. Okay, let's go to Toolbag. Well, it's still writing. But what happens is, if there's no information here, it's just going to be white, and I should have kind of saw that when I brought it in. But it's part of learning, or kind of remembering. If you do this enough, you'll be like, oh, okay. But you know, sometimes you forget, and you end up having to export it out. But it's not a big deal. It's something a lot of people probably run into anyway. So it's probably good that happened. They'll be like, where's my texture? So let's turn this off. Did it come in? It didn't come in. So let's go here, reload my fish. So heat him up. And if it didn't bring it in, there's possibly a reason for it. So let's turn it to high. At least its detail is coming in. So let's go ahead and look at the ZBrush. So we have this export files. It probably doesn't like that. PNG could be it. See, I've exported polygroups as mats, but it didn't go. So let's try this. Let's try that again. Displacement. No. For Toolbag. So we can try this one. It's different years. Let's try it again. Much better. It wasn't that loud, right? The other way was just like boom. So it's writing data. I did see that little texture pop up here, so I could kind of say that it did export it. If it didn't, we can force it out of here. We'll get our texture no matter what. It's right here. But sometimes it's easier just to have it if you're just jumping back and forth. Sometimes that's what happens when you just try to get too lazy about it. So something's loading, something's thinking, and if it happens, it will be over here. It didn't. So let's go to my fish. It'll probably be this one. And it exported it out. We got a JPEG or a PNG. Let's just grab one. So a lot of times it'll bring it in with it, and a lot of times it won't. So this is the time that it didn't. So let's do a bake. We're gonna bake this again, see what it does, see if we need to adjust any of the cage. There we go. We got a fish. Got a fish. See if there's anything wrong. I see the cavity is a little heavy. You see this? It gives it like a stylized effect. So let's go to the low, and right here we can also use displacement, but I don't know if I baked that. Let's see if I turned it on. It's on. you can see that it's forcing it right there, so you can turn that off. Your normals, you can see the difference. And that low poly mesh is actually working right here because the normals are deforming inside of Toolbag. Let's go to this, that wet look, fish wet look. We don't want to anything else. Okay, the occlusion, like the occlusion, the cavity is what's giving it that little bit of harshness. But we can just drop this down a little bit. So now we got that. We need to give the eyes something. If I really want to, I can go to see what kind of materials I have. See if there's anything. See that rubber glossy look, maybe. Let's just drop it onto here. There you go. You can actually something like that. The fins, I think something a little lighter, but let's see what we got. We can use the same thing right here. Just try to drop it on the fin. Another one, if I can get it on there. And then we can actually lighten it up. It's actually as light as it'll get, so we can just kind of play with this. It'll actually not work. So the next thing is save. So let's go to here. Armor set Toolbag 4 file, so we just have it saved in fish 01. So a lot of it is just kind of like back and forth. You're saving, optimize your UV map. If I select my fish body that I've baked information down to, there's something going on right there. I don't know if that's just overlap, but it doesn't show anything. So I think it's just the padding whenever it baked the texture onto here. If I were to turn on wireframe, you can see that it is the padding going around it. So that kind of explains that. So what else? What else can we do? We could probably do the scene in the background, or we can make a scene inside of Zbrush and then import it in. So let's see what we got in here. Some ocean. And nothing looks like it's underwater, so that's the only thing kind of tricky about this. I would need something that's like an ambience. Let's see if we just find a mood. Let's see what this looks like. A little too dark. Let's see. I use this one for the Batmobile when I did a video. I always like this one. Just gonna get that, just enough highlights. Now probably could add a light to the top, so let's do that. Let's drop a light in, and let's close this out. I kind of like that backdrop. So let's go to maybe setup. Let's go ahead and move this around. Let's zero this out. Rotation looks like 90, 90, 0. So I'd like for the light to kind of be on top of the fish. So class Classic. Lost my fish. So you can kind of get the light going. See where I put the lights. Just push it back. You can start to see it right there, and we'll pop that brightness just slightly. Let's give it some color. Like that, a little bit of a ocean look. See if we can get this environment to kind of hit some of the fish. I should bring this into a program and give it some bones. Rig it. It'd be pretty interesting to see it kind of swim on a loop. Let's see what we can do with this backdrop. So let's kind of blur this. I don't really want that to. I just want it to. Let's go with color. If I were to do some bubbles or something, give that environment, kind of add to here. Let's get that brightness just a little bit. Okay. There we go. Some of that. That. I want the background though. That's kind of the thing is. It's a little too much, right? He's the fish pulling up. A little abstract art. Just want a little bit of that kind of blend. So let's save. So the other thing is that we can see what it looks like with the ray trace. So let's see if this helps any with the shadows. So if I click it off, you can start seeing the mouth. Click it on, it's starting to look a little more. The other thing is, what kind of lens am I using? What is this lens? It's 45, 28. Let's see if we can get a little more interest. Let's go to ray trace, and we're going to. So these settings are a little different than what I'm used to. So we're going to just bump it to. This is more traditional with camera. Middle clicking right here, like what it used to be. Just gonna crunch this down. I don't want to lose everything that I did though. You know, all that work, and then you just kind of blur it. This post effect that gives me a little more forgiveness on here. So let's turn on our save frame and look and see what this looks like. The other thing is that I did bake it, so let's just see what we can toss on here. I don't know. I was like playing around with the what do you call it? These little extra textures at the bottom. Let's turn off this ray trace because it'll save resources on the computer. Let's go down to some of these materials down here. See what we can find. What I need to do is actually see if I can find something. More organic. I don't know if there's an organic. Like an algae or something. That kind of looks something like that. Let's see. That's a material I made. I was like, what is this? Space just crashed. I was like, oh, that's mine. Oh, like this. This is like a little bit of algae on there. But I don't know if that would work. We could drop it in there to see what it looks like. Might be heavy on the fish. So you're breaking the fish. Ooh, it looks like a fish monster. So we could actually multiply, let's add, makes it more like a rock monster. Just kind of just blend it just slightly. I like the top down look, like before, after. It kind of gives a little more natural look. So let's dig. I like this green moss. That could be good. Let's see. So let's up everything. The stone, I don't know if that's the dirt. Man, he's all nasty. So the dirt, you can just give it some kind of variation. I don't know. The stone worked. It's just parameters needed changed. Oh, this was not heavy enough. Let's lift it all. Let's go into here. This one. I want full control over this a little bit. And the moss. Stone's a little too much. Looks like the blending isn't translating down. That's interesting. I would think you could do blending all the way down to the chain. It does work. I wonder if it has something to do with the material. Just enough to give it a character. Go here. Oh, that's probably why it was not blending correctly. So I had a blending mode on a blending mode. So let's just add that up. Let's see if it works now. I don't know why that one's not blending. Maybe it just doesn't have enough information. But we can give it a little bit of that. Some of that. Just want a hint of this. And then the moss is just same thing. Yeah, a little more natural feeling to the fish. It's kind of got the okay. Let's go to our camera. Adjust this lighting. Like that. This top light I like, but let's adjust it. Let's adjust this just so. Yeah, Kind of gives it more city. There you go, a little city lights feel like he's swimming under some lighting from the top. So the next thing I'd like to see if we can add is where you at? Fog. So fog will, see if I could give it a color. It kind of gives it the, because the light's going through the fog, so that's what's kind of blending inside of there. And let me push this camera over just slightly. It would have been nice if I had did some bubbles inside of a. Let's remember the setting. Let's duplicate this because I like that. Maybe we can double up the fog even more. But let's keep this. So let's do the distance. Let's see what we got. A little more murky. A little murky. Opacity. Let's just kind of play with this. There. How much sky? I don't want no sky in there. That kind of gives a little bit better feeling, but it's a little too harsh. You can see where I'm going with this. I'm not really, it's just kind of playing around with this. We can double this up and see what we get. See if the machine doesn't break. Kind of varies up the color. It kind of gets too muddy. I don't need that. So the fog, let's get the distance just enough to see the fish. There. I don't know. What do you think? Too much of this texture? Like, there's that. There's that. Just ease up on it. I'm going on the moss. All right, let's just slightly. There we go. Just enough. Just a peek. Just a taste of it. Not all of it. So now let's go to our render, ray trace, so you can start to see the shadows kicking in there. See what else we can add. Ambient occlusion probably doesn't do much. Let's see. It's not really connecting with anything except itself. Local reflections. Local diffuse. No. I like to go down the parameters and just start clicking stuff. Alright, so we got bounces. Probably doesn't make too much of a difference because there's nothing to bounce except the. Oh, don't go too far. Crash my system. I've done that where I just crank it up and I'm just like, I got it, and it's just like, nope. Machine's like, just back up, buddy. So let's give it a little flare. Nope, no lighting in there to do the flares. Distortion. How we got distortion? I don't need nothing in there. So this is the fun stuff right here. So I always like playing with these because they give you different looks. Just click the wrong way. Where'd you go? Let's go down to the next one. That looks nasty. Barely see the fish. That one's neat, but you can barely see the fish. It's dark. That looks fun. That looks creepy. Hey, I like that. I actually kind of like that one. What you could do is just either save it or duplicate your camera, and then you get a version of that. But let's keep going. Portrait Too blurry. Too orange. Too much. Let's go back to the default. So let's just kind of create this little bit here and there. Just give it a little more. This could be the same. Our curves. Let's play with some curves. Push this up. Push this down. Let's go to the red. Yep. We'll make our own. And that's what I probably should do over time, is make my own preset with kind of like a loots, light tables and stuff like that. But my loots. So that's where that's at. And then just the overall. There's presets down here too. I never really noticed that, but I like what I got. Okay, let's go down. Sharpen. We can sharpen it, give it a little more. It doesn't look wet when I do this though, so that's the other thing. The edge. Did the curves change it that much? It kind of blended the thing weird, so. Matrix got its own name. I want the greenish tint back. You could go on for days just trying to find something, and it just like let's clear it out. I liked what I had. I didn't think it's gonna mess it up like that. It's okay. Just a little bit of the red channel. Okay, let's go to. So I don't know what that's coming from. Something is processing. It's kind of giving it. Let's continue. We'll come back to it. So let's give a vignette. Just kind of focus on the fish. Let's give it a little bloom. Some fish is in the water. Let's see what else we got. Film grain. This kind of gives the water a little dirtiness, dirt intensity. I don't want that kind of dirt. I want the. It looks like little things floating in the water, right? Stuff floating in the water. Of course. And then I'm just going to drop this down. There we go. The light in the background is distracting though. Let's kind of push this over. Something like that. Oh, you can't really tell what's going on behind or whatnot. It's kind of got a little grunge feel to it, don't it? So we got digital. I don't know if I want digital. Actually. Digital's not too bad, but kind of just like little particles in the water. That kind of feeling in there. So let's see, exposure. Let's pop this, crunch that. I'm almost done. I'm just kind of playing around for whoever's just still watching this far into it. Yeah, I'm just messing around with this. That halo around it though, it's causing that. Something I'll need to look into. Could be the denoising and not being strong enough, or something else. See, it's gone. If I put it back on CPU, see if it comes back. No, it's fine now. Okay, so that's pretty much most of the video. I'm just kind of like playing around now, just because it's so cool, like to be able to like rotate and look at the fish, get like different views, and I can create more cameras or something like that. But this is straight from Zbrush into Toolbag, and you can see where we ended up at. It's just having a little fun, just kind of get back into doing something, recording something, and figured I might as well throw this fish in there. So hopefully there's something to be learned here, or not, I don't know, or it's entertaining in some way. I always like playing around Marmoset Toolbag. So yeah, thank you for watching, and hope you have a good day. Later.